What am I doing with my hands?
Okay, I can always edit all this, so just pretend like
Okay,
I'm
get it set before.
Yeah, but I'm moving.
Yeah, you can't do that.
I'm just gonna pretend like it's my eyeball and hope that that works.
Alright, so a little bit of a plan.
You don't need to say it
Okay.
like that.
So have a look around over in the front. Okay, so this whole headliner or head section where the mirror currently is, that's all going to be a shelf that then we probably have a little mini library and some jackets. Then over here, the rest of the ceiling, we're obviously gonna drop the ceiling, insulate it, everything else, because that's where we're running our LEDs, or the wiring for our LEDs. This vent is going to get sealed off on the outside, so this is gonna be blanked off, so we're gonna remove this. And then back here, this roof hatch is gonna get removed, and then we're installing a sailboat hatch, which is, they call it a marine hatch. And it's 2 handles, it's clear so you can see through it. And then right here, in this region, which will be below the bed, is where we'll have one of those max air fans. So that way when you're sitting there, or when you're laying down, if you don't have the air conditioning running, then you're nice and cool, and you got plenty of airflow. So we got rid of half the seats right now. We're gonna pull the rest of these seats out here. The one thing we got to work on before we can yank out 2 of these seats is these heaters. If you want to have a look down here. So this is what the bus heaters look like. It's kind of crazy that they have kids that sit on top of these. But over on this side, you can see all of the hoses that go for those heaters. So we got to trace these out and go all the way underneath the bus and cap them underneath the bus, so that way this all disappears. So getting to that point, we got to drain fluid. We got to take care of that. That's gonna take a little bit longer. But the idea is that in the next day or 2, everything you see will be pulled. All these heaters will be pulled. All these lines will be pulled, so that way then we have as close to a open shell of a school bus as we can. In other plans, all of the wiring for the taillights and stuff runs back here. It's kind of like the Sprinter. It all runs behind this panel. So eventually when we go and we pull all this paneling, we have to take all the wiring, make sure that we have the wires that we need and nothing more. And then we gotta protect those for when we actually do the build.
What are we gonna be putting back over the wires?
So the kitchen is gonna be in this region. So there'll be upper cabinets that kind of are around it. I'm thinking a piece of like conduit, like a piece of metal, like a tube that then can protect those wires. But we got to figure out a way to make it so that way they're actually hidden and it looks nice. And yeah, so you've got the kitchen there, and then you have like the
refrigerator,
the fridge, and the pantry, and then you have the shower right in front of the wheel well. And then you'll have like a closet thing, then you'll have the bathroom.
So there's gonna be a closet separating the shower and the toilet.
Yeah, and we're doing
and that's where the wheel well is.
Yeah, we're doing a separate toilet shower because of the fact that there's a wheel well here. The toilet might be sitting on top of the wheel well.
Huh.
So you might have a little platform station to do it. But the cool news is that we might actually be keeping this window. So then, if you're taking a nice relief, you can sit here and you can have a nice little view, because you'd be sitting, well, you'd be facing the other way, but it'd be like right here.
And poops with a view.
Yeah, poops with a view. But the biggest thing right now is if you look around that heat pump, or if you come look back here, it's just dirt. It's dirt and dust.
Yeah.
Over 20 years.
Time to get that shop back going.
Yeah, but I mean, if you look on the wall, you can see.
Yeah, why is it all yellow?
Well, that's dirt, dust, kids, oil, skin, Doritos. It could be anything, but you can see where each chair was.
Right. That's pretty funny.
These panels, when we pull the windows and we blank the windows.
Are we gonna replicate something that's similar to panels just like that?
I don't think so.
Okay. And are we keeping most of the bus windows and just blanking some out where it would be covered?
No, we're gonna get rid of them all.
Oh, are we? And
Yeah.
put in RV windows.
Yes and no. Basically what we're going to do is these buses are designed so that way if they roll over with fully loaded with kids and they go rolling down a mountain, everything's going to be safe. So they're massively overbuilt. A lot of the school bus conversions, when you see that grand window, what they do is they remove this piece here. So they not only remove these two windows, but then they remove the piece, this column that runs this whole height.
To make a larger window.
And then what you do is you blank the whole thing in with one piece. And then you cut the hole for the window.
Right. So you have the framework.
Yeah. So then you have that that structure to be able, because the way RV windows work is you put the glass from the outside. There's a piece that goes on the inside, and then you screw it together. So then you just make sure that you have enough of a thing to hold it. You're good to go.
Well, cool. I'm excited.
Yep. And then this. Apparently, there's nothing on this side. It's all on that side, but we'll have to pull this. The one thing that is going to be kind of a pain in the butt is all of these rivets on all of these. We have to drill them out.
Okay.
Now, fortunately, I think they're aluminum. So we can just get a drill bit that's the right size and just run through it one after another, after another, after another, after another, and it should all come down.
And we just haven't decided what kind of ceiling we're doing yet.
Yeah, I think I kind of want to go back to the one that we had in the van. Similar style, not necessarily, like we don't have to buy the same brand, but a cedar roof. The one difference that I want to do that I kind of don't necessarily know if I want to use the same is we're doing LED strips for the ceiling this time. And so because of that, you put, instead of tongue and groove where it's flush, you do cedar strips that have voids in between them, and that's where your LEDs go. So then it's hidden.
Yeah, it's a nice ambiance that way too, because the light is being more dispersed from the sides.
Yeah, so instead of the LED pointing straight down on that, you actually point them like upwards and you put it in a track. So the ceiling comes down just a little bit. So you kind of mount the LEDs and then you put the boards up. But then by doing that, then you have indirect lighting, which looks way better on that.
Yeah.
And then besides that, once we got the rest of it, then it's going to be, after we've gut and cleaned, then it's going to be what do we need to remove from the systems that we're no longer going to be using.
And what about all of these speakers?
I looked at them, and they're very good for an intercom, and they're very bad for music. So these will most likely be disappearing as well. And all the lights are all incandescent bulbs, not LEDs. So we're not going to keep any of those. So basically, literally everything you see on the entire ceiling is going to be gone.
Okay.
Including the vents, including the roof hatches, and everything else.
Because you explained what's going on this side, do you want to explain what we're putting on this other side here?
Yeah, so the idea is that right about here, this little triangle shape will be for all of the shoes and stuff. Then you'll have a 6-foot long couch, which will also double for seating to drive in. Then there's going to be a chair. We're thinking like a Honda Odyssey or Toyota Sienna chair that we're going to match with the driver's chair. So both of these will be matching. It'll be a driver passenger seat. Those seats are really nice because they have 2 armrests in the chair and they have a seatbelt integrated into the chair. So we won't need these straps and we won't need any of the stuff on the wall because all of that will be integrated into the seat itself. And then so we'll have a chair with a desk, so the chair will swivel and go, so backwards will be the desk, frontwards will be facing for driving, and then you're going to have basically electronics nerd area, so it's going to be all of our internet, so we've got a hotspot and Starlink, and then computers and 3D printer. So all of that stuff's going to go there. I'm utilizing the 3D printer as much as possible for the build, so anything that we can print, like a mount or something, is instead of buying one, we'll model one up and it'll be custom for the bus, and we'll have an archive of all the prints for the bus. So in the future, if it's like, hey, this works really well, but we need to tweak it, we don't have to find a new part or a new version from the manufacturer. We just do the file, click print, comes out just fine, and then we replace it. So we're gonna do that. So then that's all that. And then the next afterwards is going to be the daisy bed area. So we're modeling the model to accept a toddler bed that then when it gets extended to a single, we'll have to like do some construction, but we're modeling it as a toddler bed.
And first we're gonna put a crib in there.
Yeah, so we're modeling it as a toddler bed in size, but then we're going to be utilizing it as a crib. And then after that, there will be a stair so that way Lily can get up. And then in the back will be the king size bed. And
Daisy will be about 12 months old when we're hitting the road. And then Lily's our dog, if you don't know.
Yep.
And she's getting a little up there in age, so she needs help to jump up into our bed.
Yep, and then that should give us... we have a little mini washing machine. It's a 1 cubic foot pedestal washer. So it's gonna technically be underneath the bed, but you access it from the bathroom. That you, the toilet room. And then the battery bank and the inverters and everything, that'll be underneath the bed centered. So there's gonna be a clear panel that you open and you can see everything. And then right where it says emergency exit at the very back there is where the air conditioner is going to go. We looked it up. It's because we're going to run 230 volt from the electronics, so or through the battery bank. So we are going to go with a 12,000 BTU, which is going to be overkill. Pretty much this whole bus can be completely from like a 90 degree to like
here comes
70
Daisy.
in like
Here comes Daisy.
less than 2 minutes.
All right, well, it's getting warm in here, so let's get back to work.
Alrighty, day 1 is complete. We'll start at the rear of the bus, which is the giant elephant. This is all of the seats. The only 2 seats we haven't pulled is this one and this one, because they still have those heaters. We need to drain the coolant lines in order to get those to be... Well, we got to drain the coolant and then we got to cap the coolant lines and get them all ready to go. Seats came out quite easy, all but one bolt, of course there's always one, that was able to be pulled today. So we're doing well. It's on that seat too, so. Pretty good shape. If you look, we got some pretty nice plywood down there. I know in a lot of the schoolie conversions, people say that they are rotted and everything else. Don't know if we're gonna have that. Everything feels pretty good. We're obviously gonna poke and prod a little bit to see if there needs to be any patchwork. But it looks like we got away pretty well. So Idaho buses, apparently they're pretty good. Besides that, we found a scrap metal place nearby, so we're gonna try and go take care of that. We've removed all of this stuff. I gotta pull a stop sign. And I think the next step is to dump all this, get the coolant lines capped and drained and get rid of that. And yes, clean. Yeah, it's very dirty in here. So get it all cleaned up, get it all taken care of, and then be able to start on the prep work to get this registered as a RV. Chrissy helped out a lot today between taking care of Daisy. My mom helped out between taking care of Daisy. Lily likes the bus so far, so we're happy with that. And it's a lot of metal that's been removed. We're gonna keep the track that's designed to support the wheelchairs. We're gonna try and reuse that up on the roof. We had some conversations about floor plan once we get all of this up, and obviously everything, all the coolant lines out of the way. We are going to paint the floor to seal it as best we can from this side, fill all the holes that we can with Sikaflex and or sealant, and get the tie downs or the attachment points for the seats that will come later to be installed. So that's great news, great progress. We're definitely moving along quick. There's a lot more room in here once you get it to this point than you think. From the outside, she looks the same. We've had a few times getting in that electrical panel. Kind of wondering what we should do on the outside though. Planning on wrapping it all in white, keeping the Bluebird emblems or getting some new ones, and then either painting it or wrapping it. We are not 100% decided upon that yet. I think it's also going to depend upon when we blank all the windows out, what it looks like. Think, not 100% sure, but I think we're keeping this window, this emergency window, but the rest are all going. This one comes out like this versus coming out like this. It comes out horizontal, so it'll be nice, and that will be right where the bathroom is, the toilet. So that'll work out. So finish up tonight. I'm gonna see if I can trace out the stop sign and get rid of that. Just another thing that I don't have. And then of course we got to get rid of those before we go and register it. Everything else is going pretty well. Yeah. All right. We'll see you tomorrow.